Good children of primary 3, my name is called Otieno Kevin. You can as well call me Teacher Kevin. There is no problem with that. I welcome you for our lesson 13, and we want to study about literacy 1A. Therefore, I call upon your maximum cooperation as we move on. Last week, we looked at stems, and we grouped them in 3 categories. We looked at underground stems, we looked at upright stems, we also 2 categories of stems, underground stems and then upright stems. We went ahead and looked at examples of stems examples of plants with weak stems. I remember very well that we looked at examples of plants with weak stems. We mentioned passion fruits, we mentioned that vanilla, we mentioned that pumpkins, we mentioned plants like cucumber, we looked at sunbeams, we also looked at loafer plants. For them mainly, they are found in the coastal areas where there are large water bodies. Sometimes even we can find them in the swamp areas as long as there is enough water. Then we went ahead and we discussed ways how plants with weak stems can climb others. Ways how plants with weak stems can climb others. Then we looked at 3 methods that some can climb others by use of hooks or thorns. And even we said some can climb others by use of tendrils. And even we mentioned that some can also climb others by clasping or twinning. Therefore, at this juncture, let us now focus on our lesson 13, having reviewed what we learned last week. So we are having here a diagram showing a plant with a weak stem climbing another plant using tendrils. This one here we can just draw it. Simply, this is a support of another plant nearby. We can take it as another plant. This is the ground level. This is the ground level, the soil. Okay, it's a plant with an upright stem. This stem is upright, and therefore it can support itself. So we have here a stem of a strong plant, of a plant having a strong stem, a plant having a strong stem. This one can now help to accommodate other plants with weak stems. For instance, now you come and plant here your passion fruit, okay? Your passion fruit, and then it grows, it begins growing. Now, when there is not a support nearby, this stem will be falling down, will be creeping down, called creeping. It will be creeping down, okay? The stem will remain down, will not move upwards. Now, since now you want this stem to move upwards, or since it needs us to move upward or to grow upright, you will find it growing, 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 and then, for example, there is a leaf here. There is another leaf. There is another leaf. There is another leaf here. There is another leaf. Now, by use of tendrils, we don't see here tendrils. Now tendrils, they emerge in between the branch and the stem. So a tendril emerges from here. It comes, coils around. Okay? And even you find another one also emerging from here by coiling around. So now this one here enables this plant to grow upright. Okay? By use of tendrils. So now we can name this to be tendril. An example of such plants we have, we say passion fruits, and even we can say some beans. Some beans, they have tendrils, they coil around. But the best example is passion fruit. We have seen the tendrils and they coil around to support this weak stem to grow upright. Okay, children? Then also we want to look at a diagram showing twinning or clasping method. We have a plant nearby there. There is a plant. Then with the ground level, there is a ground level. There is a ground level. For example, it's a tree stump or tree trunk, which is there. You come and grow maybe your cocoyam, not white yams, cocoyams, because we say that some yams they have weak stems. Now the best example is a cocoyam. You plant it here, you see this plant growing, clasping, clasping, clasping up there. Then there is a leaf, and you can also include here some leaves on the stem. There's a leaf here. So now this method of twinning around the plant, another plant with a strong stem. Oh, this method of twinning around, a plant twinning around another plant, we call it clasping. This method is clasping or twinning, where a plant with a weak stem coils around the plant, another plant. The method is called twinning or clasping. But when you see tendrils, that one is it. Using tendril method. Is a plant of a weak stem, but using climbing, others using tendril method. Then by clasping, a plant itself coils itself around another plant to grow, to get extra support. So we can say a stem of a weak plant growing upwards by means of twinning or clasping. Then we look at underground stems. Having looked at these two diagrams, then we move forward and we discuss something about underground stems. What are underground stems? Underground stems are stems that are found below the ground, underneath the soil, in the soil below the ground. And examples of underground stems, we have speargrass, we have jinga, that is tangleweeds, jinga, we have poach grass, and even we have Irish potatoes. Potatoes. We get their stems under the ground. So having discussed all this, there is a simple activity for you that I wish you to write using your best handwriting and what books for marking. Therefore, members, let us have a short or a brief break. When we return back, we shall be discussing something different, and it will be our lesson 14. Thank you so much for listening. We shall be right back here.